9. This is Mark Main's Business. Andrew Barija with Masika Team, and we are definitely driving your business all the way through. And of course, appreciation from our viewers that is across the entire continent, that is from North Africa, West Africa, Central Africa, East Africa, South Africa. Very, very grateful all over. Like I always tell you that our information is both national. That means it can be reliable when it comes to making decisions based on the national perspective. Then also regional at the same level, that is in the region where you belong. You could be part of the ECOWAS, you could be part of the SADC, part of the COMESA. It applies in there. And it's continental at the same time, you know, making decisions, of course, considering the continent's objectives and needs at the moment, and the global finally. Well, Smart 24 TV, plot 42 Nile Avenue, that's why we broadcast live, of course, this information in Kampala, Uganda, at the heart of the city here, down here, just Nile Avenue, Garden City Closet, right there. Well, as we proceed with our topic of discussion this morning, that is on tourism. And of course, we've been focusing on innovations around tourism, away from just tourism at all. And we've seen quite a number of aspects from our introduction. Godwin and Enid discussed something. We came in and saw aspects of green initiatives, you know, ecotourism, how, you know, these initiatives are influencing the way we travel. And we've seen all that. But then there is also something that we need to also take a look into here before we proceed with further discussions, as we shall be having stakeholders later on, still discussing on matters of promoting tourism across East Africa. Maybe just to give you what you should expect, we have Stephen Asimwe, the Chief Executive Officer, that is of Private Sector Foundation Uganda, and we have Herbert Biaruhanga in there too. Of course, he's also a passionate gentleman when it comes to the batting related activities. So we shall be coming up shortly with them as they will be telling us further. But anyway, heading back to the virtual tourism discussion here. The virtual tourism technology, of course, it's growing, but at a slow pace in Uganda.
Well, in Uganda, I don't think we have really reached that level. I think
we do have a little.
We do have,
of course, some on test trials.
Yeah. Oh yeah, mostly it's test trials. But then I saw it in Kenya, Kenya with the Masai Mara National Reserve. Yeah. So you could also have a chance of having virtual reality. Just go get what are they called? Those
they call them.
There's a word they call them, virtual reality.
Glasses. Something like that. Yeah.
Yes, glasses, and you could have an experience. And of course, most of these innovations came, actually, this got more effective in the COVID-19. And of course, I like the fact that now there are circumstances, there are factors of life that lead to certain things. Yeah, I like the fact that I also want to have an experience. I don't want to, because some people don't like traveling. Yeah. Some people have like, what are they called? They're claustrophobic. They're phobic of heights. They're afraid of heights. So definitely flying would be hard. Even those, even buses. Some people have,
find it difficult.
Yeah, find it difficult traveling. But in Kenya there is that. Then we also have in Rwanda for the gorilla trekking. It also offers a virtual reality experience that allows users to trek gorillas in the Virunga. I can imagine you with and your and you're working trekking. Yes. It's a good experience. It's a good experience. Though actually for Uganda we've not had it with tourism. It's much more in the gaming. The gaming side. People running and doing. But then I want to see it in tourism. Then we have Egypt, the pyramids of Giza. Imagine. You're watching, you're going through
the pyramids.
It is quite an amazing.
I can imagine.
I can imagine. So it's quite an amazing thing. With them, I don't think people will have to go to different parts of the world to explore. You just get your glasses and start seeing. But then it is actually better for you to go yourself. Yeah, and have a feel the nature, smell it, touch it, feel it. But then virtual reality is a good innovation for those that find it so hard to travel.
To travel.
Yeah, it's cost friendly.
Okay. Now, if I get through my report here, still in relation to virtual tourism in Uganda. Virtual tourism, of course, is a technology that creates massive experiences which allow people to explore destinations without actually physically being there. Now, this is done through quite a variety of means, such as virtual reality, we have augmented reality, and 360-degree videos that way. And well, this has quite a number of benefits for both tourists and destinations. For tourists, it provides a way to experience those destinations before they actually book a trip there, which can actually help you make informed decisions about their travel plans. You see, I have to be there in a place physically, but then I need to know, the risk spending your money, and you're like, I spent all my thousands of dollars to be here. It's not worth my money. But through the virtual reality, it gives you a feel of, okay, I can't wait to be there physically. If I get this feel, that is assuming you didn't edit the aspects that are in there. There is also that possibility.
There is also that possibility.
Yeah, if it's really real, what is portrayed there. Now, of course, making decisions is key. Now, it can also help to reduce on the impact of tourism on the environment. We're discussing green initiatives within the tourism sector. So actually, such technologies can venture into that. Here, because people can actually explore destinations without physically being there. But for the destinations, virtual tourism can help to reach wider audience and promote the tourism potential that is to the visitors. Now, Uganda is one of the countries that is leading the way when it comes to the virtual tourism. Of course, we take a look at the Uganda Tourism Board, which has been working to develop a number of virtual tourism initiatives in Uganda. We have quite a number of them. And of course, 360 videos is part of them. Is part of the initiative. 360-degree videos of Uganda's top tourist destinations. Now, definitely, these videos allow people to explore places like Wind Impenetrable Forest, Makshan Falls, National Park, and Lake Victoria without actually having to leave their homes. Now, we also have the virtual reality experiences of Uganda's wildlife. Now, these very experiences allow people to see animals definitely to a very close, when they're too close to them. And now we have the augmented reality that allow people to learn about Uganda's culture and history at the same time. Now, these applications can actually be used to explore Uganda's museums, heritage sites, and traditional villages. Now, the initiatives have actually been successful in attracting more visitors. And Uganda, of course, in 2019, Uganda received a record of about 1.5 million visitors. Now, this was a 10% increase from the previous year. Now, the Uganda Tourism Board is confident that virtual tourism will definitely play a role, a major role, that is when it comes to attracting tourists in Uganda. Now, what it has done mainly, it's not really, it's more of, it's easier to advertise out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's easier to advertise, to tell people that, hey, come and see, we have this. If you think you can try this out, and it's free to try it out. Yeah. You don't pay money. It has to be, for a country like Uganda, it has to be free. If you're really, very cheap. Affordable, because it's not only going to end.
It's going to give an experience of what you expect.
Exactly, but it's not even sustainable. You cannot say that, hey, for us, we are relying on virtual tourism as a country. No, you need to have physical tourists on ground. That's what makes tourism, because it's about nature, feeling the atmosphere of the area, and it cannot be felt with the glasses and the 3D and all those perspectives. So we need to have something that is so real. Now, I told you that in 2019, Uganda received a record of about 1.5 million visitors. This was 10% increase from the previous year. All this as a result of virtual tourism experiences. Now, UTB, the Uganda Tourism Board, estimated that virtual tourism will actually generate Uganda $100 million in revenue. That is by 2025.
That's a year from now.
That's a year from now. Actually, 2 years. We're not yet in 2024 officially. However much.
No, some people have already switched to 2024. Trust me, people are no longer in 2023. They've already switched. They're already planned. have a
It's
plan.
just as long as they don't really collide in that way. But well, still on that discussion, like I promised you, we shall be having, that is officials from the different, of course, sectors, sharing matters to do with promoting tourism within East Africa. But firstly, let's review here Stephen Asimwe, the Chief Executive Officer of Private Sector Foundation Uganda. What does he have to say when we talk about promoting tourism in East Africa?
The Kenyan coast is the second largest economy with a GDP of over $30 billion. And this GDP is etched in a group of people who are very wealthy. It's a large and growing middle class, but most importantly, they are very naive of what the Ugandan destination has to offer. So in the last couple of years, we've seen many of the residents, expatriates and business community going to destinations like Zanzibar, like Dubai, the Mauritius, they've gone to Seychelles, they've gone to the Comoros, and they do not have an inkling of what Uganda has to offer. And so we are here to market Uganda as a favorable destination and obviously to sell our culture, our heritage, our wildlife, our history, but very, very importantly, Uganda has so much to offer in terms of 360 degrees experience. Yes. Destinations are marketed by destination marketing organizations, or what other people call DMCs, destination marketing companies. So in the last 6 days, we have engaged business-to-business engagements between our travel trade and the travel trade of Kenya. Travel trade involves doing the wholesale and retail promotion of the country in all its facets. So one, we had to market to the Kenyans, but secondly, we are also taking 30 travel trade players in Kenya to come and hear, see, touch, feel, and see the entire experience of Uganda. We need to invest money in the travel trade coming to Uganda. The travel trade is the last and first line of any marketing company. So for us, is one, to engage the people, but two, to engage the travel trade to come to Uganda. And that's where the money should go. Destination marketing companies, DMCs, is where companies, countries, and destination invest money. So countries must invest in marketing, in media, in exposure, in familiarization trips, which are known as farm trips, so that when people have an experience, they talk about it, they see it, they feel it, they touch it, they taste it, they hear it. And that's where countries should put money. We've had an approach of DMRs, MDRs, marketing destination representatives. That narrative has changed now because by exposing 200 people to a destination, we are also exposing that group of contact, the first line and last line of people, into that market. And that's where government should put its money.
Well, that is Stephen Asimwe right there with discussion still to see how tourism can be promoted. That is across East Africa. And definitely CEO Private Sector Foundation Uganda, definitely that portrays the role of the private sector when it comes to making sure that this works hand in hand. Of course, it's the responsibility of the Private Sector Foundation of Uganda, the Private Sector Foundation of Tanzania and Kenya at the same time, and Rwanda, or any country that feels has that responsibility to promote tourism. Well, still on that note, we head to now Mr. Byaruhanga, Herbert Byaruhanga, and now, of course, he's recognized as the managing director of BAD Uganda Safaris Limited, and of course, a distinguished figure within the realm of the East African BAD guides. What does he have to say regarding this matter?
Kenyan market has been out there in the source markets for a long time. The destination here has been in the source markets for a long time, and therefore, Uganda tagging itself along the Kenyan destination is very important for us. It helps us to reach millions and millions of potential tourists who would be coming to our country. You know, it's because we are a young market. We are a young business. We are very young. We haven't been in tourism business for a long time because of our history of a lot of disagreements here and there. But people are realizing that the tourism bread is so big, we have to share with others. Now, the collaboration we want to have with Kenyans, first of all, was to introduce to each other get to know who is who, which association, what are the legal requirements of doing business in both countries, who is where. Now we are getting out of this stage and we are going into now consolidating on what we are supposed to do together. How do we complement each other? On what areas, what parameters do we use to work together? What are the interests of different companies so that we can tag along those interests of different companies and we start working together. The next thing you are going to see are those joint farm trips of East Africa, selling East Africa as a package so that everybody gets to know how to be involving others. Now this, you know, they said as it is known that tourism business is government-led and private sector driven. At this point, we are coming to all think about increasing on the percentages of our seats. And the percentage of our seats from us, we think maybe if it adds on like 20% of our seats, beginning from there, because here the market is so huge, if we tap into from 20 to 30% on our seats, we shall have made a very good addition, and we will look at other possible marketing positions.
Well, in 2019, East Africa received about 7.1 million tourists, earning it about 5.6 billion US dollars in receipts. Now, of course, away from that, the different the leading from that, despite that we have quite a bigger number. Sudan, not really that much of that. And now we see that tourism's contribution to GDP, it contributes about 5% to GDP of East Africa. Of course, we get to take a look at the rates to the GDP of Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, and we combine them together to give us a one figure. Well, a number of strategies have actually been put in place, Marcy, to promote tourism in East Africa, and one of them is in promoting regional connectivity, develop multi-destination packages, promoting regional tourism, and well, investing in tourism infrastructure has also been a quite key perspective, and then digital marketing has been also part of the initiative that has been put out there. Actually, digital marketing is not any different from virtual tourism we've been talking about. Show me where I'm gonna go for free, so that I can think about it and make the important decision.
I like the fact that you're into free things.
No, it's not
it
about,
could be not free, but it could be a reasonable amount of money.
yeah, but that's the Silicon Valley culture. Somebody can actually operate for free for quite a while, knowing that I'm getting a market share, even if it means 5 years, knowing that after 5 years, I'll officially come out and charge it.
Well, of course, when it comes to East Africa, I believe now that we are becoming bigger and Somalia joining us, it joined us, and of course the number is growing bigger and bigger every day. That means people see potential in the East African community. Yeah. So definitely when it comes to tourism, I believe we are trying as much as we can, because if you compare the first three countries that make up East Africa, the regional East Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, they are rich. They're rich in tourist destinations. Even Rwanda, it has like gorillas and what. It's really diverse, and of course, it's trying much as they can to make sure that they. You've seen the flights, the direct flights that have been made to India, to China. So as a way of boosting tourism, yeah, even others to the UAE. So definitely we are trying as much as can to bring more people here. Yeah, and of course the fact that, you see, AFCON 2027, trust me, it's gonna earn East Africa huge.
I believe that.
Yeah. So it is a strategy. And of course also CAF, I think maybe could have looked into the picture and they're like, oh, East Africa, I think that is why we won the bid. Yeah. It's gonna not only help us in sports to be recognized, but also tourism, because people are going to be booking accommodation places. You're not going to watch soccer from morning to evening, no. If you're in Uganda to watch maybe a certain you're from Senegal and maybe the game is in Uganda, you have to walk around and see what Uganda is made of. Maybe you've been hearing the different cuisines, or you've been hearing that they are known for bird watching. You would want to go there. So definitely this is going to be a huge opportunity for East Africa.
East Africa.
Yes.
Very beautiful, very, very beautiful in there. Maybe before we get into the break here, just a few examples of successful tourism initiatives in East Africa. The East African Community Tourism Marketing Strategy, which has developed a regional tourism marketing strategy aimed at promoting East Africa as a single tourist destination. And of course, we see the Northern Corridor Integrated Development Project. And now this project is improving transportation infrastructure. That is along the Northern Corridor, which connects Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, and Burundi at the same time. And now we have the World Travel Market East Africa. And now East African countries have been actively participating in the World Travel Market Africa, of course, the leading tourism trade fair for the African continent. But of course, despite all this, there is need to have an effective follow-up to make sure that they are actually doing what they are supposed to do. We have the East African Community Tourism Marketing Strategy, the Northern Corridor Integrated Development Project, the World Travel Market Africa. And that is all these initiatives to promote regional tourism and making sure that East Africa is a single tourist destination in Africa. Well, let's take a break, and when we return, we shall definitely have an insight, a discussion in relation to how can we use audio and visual perspectives to promote tourism. Stick around.